Living the dream. Up at 4 a.m. doing all the things I need to do before I can leave. Leaving at 8 a.m. Driving an hour to the south coast to pick rosehips. And when they're picked, they look like that, ready to be processed, and then when they're processed, they end up on these trays. Now I've picked 1,015 this morning. It took me about an hour and a half to do that, and it took me longer than it would normally take to pick that many because it's at the end of the season. So here I am in just around mid-October, and I've pretty much finished my pick. It depends on the part of the world where you live. In the north of England, picking from July through to November, and round in Somerset it's more like August to October. And this is my favourite type of rosehip. I'm very happy to have found a place so full of them. So what I do is I put them in the dehydrator, and they take up to a week in there, and when they're completely dried I then pack them away and store them. And when it's time to make use of a packet, I simply put the dried rosehips into the NutriBullies and give them a good grinding to make a powder. And the powder ends up in a jar. This is my current jar, so this is what I harvested this summer and early autumn. And that's what I use to make my cat's claw rosehip raw honey morning drink. It's so full of vitamin C and bioflavonoids. It doesn't act as a stimulant like coffee, it acts more as an awakener. So it gives me great pleasure to harvest these, knowing this is the remedy for all the winter ailments that come from autumn through to just before spring. So I'm very, very happy to have got so many rosehips. So for me, so an hour and a half doing that, picking them, and then I took my swimming things to the beach and I had a swim in the sea, and that made me feel totally like $1 million. Picked myself up something really nice to eat later on from one of the shops in Lyme Regis and drove back. So I set off at 7 and I arrived back home at 11. This is for me living the dream. Ticks so many of my boxes. What I especially love about the rosehips, in order to pick them, it's nature's gym. What I need to do is climb in amongst the plants, twist and turn, duck and dive, bend and stretch to reach the ones just at the edge of reach. And so I've been devoting quite a lot of the last 6 weeks to this, and this is either my 6th or my 7th harvest. So most harvests I've got maybe between 110 and 150 rosehips on the tray. Here I've got 100, so it looks like probably more than 10,000 have been picked in this time. I really wanted to make up for last year when I was not in the state to be able to do this. So I harvested a couple of loads and I managed to do everything wrong and burn them all. So that's why I've really gone to town this year. All the love to you, and I would love to hear your moments, your days, your hours when you suddenly find that you're doing what is you're passionate about. It touches, moves, and inspires you, and it's your thing. I'd love to hear what your thing is, what you love to do, what gives you satisfaction. All the love to you.